How many cars have redefined what the word timeless truly means? Some cars are just machines, metal, rubber, and glass. But only a few have ever transcended that, becoming legends. The BMW E30 is one of them. Born in 1982, the E30 wasn't just a car. It redefined what a sports sedan could be, blending precision engineering with a timeless design. And that's how, after 30 years parked, we opened this garage door finding a BMW 325i sitting like the time capsule it became.
It's actually in really, really good shape. I think it's gonna clean up beautifully. The only thing that sucks about E30 BMWs is it's a single stage, like enamel paint, and it's really sticky and tacky and hard to polish.
At least it's white though. Like if it was a different color, that could show way more scratches. So this thing's gonna come out pretty nice.
Before we even get to polishing, we should probably get it out of the garage. But before we even get out of the garage, we should probably get a little bit of the backstory of how it got like this. All right, guys, we're here with Glynis, the owner, who bought this car back in the 90s?
The early 90s.
Early 90s, and you said you bought it from a police officer, right?
Yeah, it was a police auction car.
Oh, an auction car, okay. The cool thing is that not only you drove it, but then your son drove it as well?
Right, he drove it before he went to college, and then he parked it when he went to college, and this is where it's been sitting.
Gotcha. And your decision to sell it was because it had been sitting here too long, wasn't getting enough love?
No, actually it wasn't bothering me at all, because I had the door down and it was out of sight, out of mind, until I decided that I needed to do a few projects at my farm. And then I figured I could use the money from the sale of this to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, we actually were interested in buying this car, and then I got a call from a friend who had gotten the deal before I could get to the deal. So it all kind of worked out in the end. We still get to film this BMW and still get to showcase the whole process of making this thing look brand new. It's a real pleasure. I thank you so much for giving us the time and giving us the backstory on it.
And now we're gonna pump up these tires for the first time in almost 30 years, but I wanna ask if you guys know what these wheels on the car are. I know they're not OEM, they say Racing Z on them, but I'm pretty sure the OEM wheels that came on the E30 were very, very popular, but let me know below. And then when we started to pull it out, we ran into a major problem.
All right, now in order to get the BMW out of the garage, we have this angle where we can't really correct our trailer so that it can roll directly into the trailer. So in this case, I'm going to try and use this snatch block to kind of help us out with this goofy angle. And then once the car is a little bit closer to the trailer, we'll turn the wheel and continue to pull it. Sometimes things are easier said than done. All right, the moment of truth. Oh man, she is seized up. That's all, are all those seized up too? All four? Sometimes things are easier said than done. Wow, she is locked up. Oh my gosh. Well, she's gonna get out of the garage today, but that front end is beautiful. It's my favorite BMW front end. It looks like we're gonna need more help pushing this car over. Thankfully, we have Chris here, who is actually the guy who got to this deal before we could. In this case, Chris is going to be restoring this car and then surprising his girlfriend, Michaela, who was a big BMW fan as well. Hopefully, she'll come to the shop and give us a good reaction.
I hope so. She's always wanted one.
That's
Alpine white coupe with a manual is impossible. I just knew how rare this combo was, but ever since she first saw an E30 at a car show, she's wanted one ever since. Yeah. So came across this, and here we are.
Definitely stick around to the end of the video because I think you guys are going to want to see her surprise when she sees this sitting at her shop. Okay, not working. We need the rollers. Come on. All right, and we figured that this is a good time to let you all know that we are traveling around the United States looking for barn find cars like this to feature on our channel. So if you have an enthusiast vehicle that's very dirty, please, they need to be dirty. I appreciate you guys sending your cars, your cool cars to us, but a lot of them aren't dirty, and we only film the dirtiest cars that we can find. If you think that you have a car that fits what we're looking for, email us here or DM us on Instagram and let us know what you have. We might just drive out to pick your car up and detail for free. Anyways, now the car is locked down and we're ready to head back to the shop. All right, we're back with the E30, and Mike, what's your first impression?
My first impression is this thing is filthy, and sadly it looks like, I don't know if someone tried to clean this off with a broom or something, but it looks like it's gonna have a lot of scratches in this paint unless this dirt somehow saved it.
Dirt does a pretty good job of actually protecting paint, but not particularly when you're rubbing something over the finish, because you're basically just rubbing dirt onto the clear coat. But I don't think it did too much damage, and it doesn't really matter. It's a white car, it hides a lot of scratches anyway. But I am a huge BMW fan. I have a BMW myself, and you can make the argument that they're somewhat related. I have a two-door coupe that is kind of designed to be a very fun car that doesn't have a ridiculous amount of power, but that's very fun to drive. I have an M2 This is obviously a 3 Series, but this was before the 3 Series became big cars. I actually learned something when picking this up from Chris. I learned that this was the only 325 that came with a inline 6, which is what my car has, and which is what a lot of BMWs are kind of known for. The more powerful versions of this car, for example, the E30 M3, was actually a 4-cylinder.
That is interesting. That's like the only time that the M3 had a smaller motor than the pedestrian version of the car. Another thing is, a lot of our younger viewers will know that just like the 240, these E30s were drift cars to a lot of people. A lot of people like to take this shell, take the motor out, throw a V8 in here and drift them, which I love to see, but I hate to do to such a nice car. This is like, the interior is fully intact, the body's not too bad. I don't think it has too much rust on it, so I'd hate to see that happen to it. But a lot of guys would buy this car just for the shell to swap the motor in and make a little drift toy.
And yeah, it would pain me too if someone did that with a car that's this clean, just because, I mean, the taillights are perfect, there's no cracks in anything, and even listen to how easy this trunk pops open. We're not looking in there just yet, we're gonna save that for later and see what surprises we find.
First thing I need to do is clean these disgusting BMW wheels, and I wanna talk to you guys about our wheel package. These are actually my 2 favorite products. Cleaning wheels on cars is one of my favorite things to do, because there's always such a great before and after when I use these two. We usually show this stuff in the foamer, but I'm just gonna use it as is to show you guys exactly what it's like when you use both these products. And these on our website come together in a pack where you get a discount if you buy them both together. So I'll let the results speak for themselves. First things first, we're gonna blow off as much of the dirt and grime as we can with just our pressure washer, and then we'll use our products. As you guys can see, I was not being shy with the pressure washer, and we can see a lot of brake dust left over on this wheel, and also the browning that is left on this tire. When this dries, this will look awful, but I'll show you how I'll clean it. Usually with the wheel cleaner, I just spray it on and I let it sit for a while. What's really cool about this stuff is you can tell when it's working, just like the wheel cleaner, because it starts turning brown. Now I'm gonna apply our Purple Rain wheel cleaner, and you're gonna see how it instantly starts turning purple and starts breaking down that tough built-in brake dust. And on older wheels like this, I cake this stuff on. I really do use a lot, but it's gonna come out really good. As you can see down here, it's doing its job and it's starting to turn all of that iron purple. Let's see if I can move a little bit of it. It's already starting to break it all loose, and this is gonna come out really nice, I hope. Oh yeah. All right, so now I'm gonna use my brushes. First, we're gonna start on the tire, and you're gonna see how brown and gross this turns in just a second. But we just scrub it a little bit. This kind of just agitates the top of the tire and pulls out all that browning and blooming and all that embedded dirt. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is gross. And this is gonna take a little while because we got a bunch of spokes, but I think it'll be worth the wait. And this is why we call it Purple Rain. Looks pretty ridiculous, doesn't it? What's also really nice about this product is you don't have to really worry, like if you're using an acid-based product. This is meant to dwell on to this surface for a while, so I'm not worried about damaging these wheels at all while using this. Now these wheels, I know for a fact, haven't been cleaned for more than 30 years. Let's see how they look. I think the results speak for themselves on this one. Although these wheels were damaged previously, probably from sitting for such a long time, the rest of it looks really, really good.
RJ, what you up to?
I'm tracking my Bombas socks because I have replaced every pair of socks in my house with Bombas now. Pete Mikes.
This is my favorite color.
Bombas socks have soft cushioning, seamless toes, and actually stay in place. No slipping and no bunching. And it's perfect for me on long days when I'm on my feet detailing cars. But here's what makes Bombas really special. For every pair purchased, they donate a pair to someone in need. And so far, they've donated over 100 million items, which is insane. And that's why I love them. They feel great and they do good. And so far, I'm up to 24 pairs donated. Once you try Bombas, you'll never want to wear anything else. They're built to last and made to keep up with you no matter what. And if you're a new customer, you can get 20% off your first purchase. Go to bombas.com/WDDetailing and use code WDDetailing and go get your 20% off and go get your Bombas. I promise you guys, they are freaking awesome. And we can't wiggle our toes very well. But thank you so much, Bombas, for sponsoring this video. We appreciate it so much. And we thank you for doing so much good in the world. But now we have to get back to that car.
You guys have seen me pre-wash almost every car on the channel, but it's very hard to tell on camera what exactly is the pre-wash doing. So what I want to show you guys today is a side-by-side comparison if I didn't use pre-wash and if I did. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to spray pre-wash on this side and leave this side bare and use the pressure washer to see if it makes a difference or not. We have a nice line here, so I'm going to kind of use that as our line of where I'm not going to spray. We're going to let this dwell onto the paint for about a minute or so, and then I'm going to take the pressure washer and evenly apply pressure to this whole area, and we'll see how good of a job it does. I'm even on this side, so in case I'm a little bit closer and a little bit more pressure goes on this side. Now, I did miss a tiny bit on this side, so I'll go a little bit farther to make sure we see the full result. As you can see, it's pretty clear on this side, somewhat over here, but as we go farther this way, this is deeply embedded into the paint. Now the pre-wash is really good at actually kind of digging down and pulling that out of the clear coat. I think it did a pretty good job. What do you think, Brent? Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not saying it. You guys know what we're cleaning. Real question here, do you guys think this car needs a wing on it or looks better the way it is without one? I love the E30 M3, so I'm a fan of the spoiler, but let me know what you think.
All right, so I just got done pre-washing the back of this BMW and we have some heavy staining. I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like they put something on the car and then it kind of leaked out. So I wanna go over the importance of why you don't wanna store your car and leave stuff on it, because not only did I find this on the trunk, but if you look over here, Brent, it looks like this was some kind of package with lettering and it soaked into the clear coat of this paint. And this is definitely removable, and hopefully this is removable as well, but it just makes our job a lot harder, and it'll make your life a lot harder if you go to restore a car later in time.
All right, now it's time to get started on the engine bay. And of course, here we have the inline 6 2.5 liter motor that BMW has kind of become known for. These cars were much more about their handling ability and not so much about the actual power that this motor delivers. I think it delivered around 165 horsepower. So we have some rodent that was living over there that must have taken some insulation from somewhere inside the car or maybe somewhere else in the garage and packed it in there and stored all its nuts. And then over here we have a different nest that was formed using leaves. And so we're gonna have to vacuum all of this out before we can actually go ahead and clean the rest of the engine bay, because it's much easier to do when it's dry than when it's wet. All right, now it's time to remove the iron particulate that's embedded in this vehicle's paint, and we're going to be using our WD Auto Supply Iron Kryptonite. And our goal is to not only remove all these little iron particles that get stuck in the paint and then rust, that's why they turn orange like this, but you can also use Iron Kryptonite to remove rust stains like this. What happens is there'll be an area that, say maybe underneath the emblem here is rusting and it drips down, all that rust ends up embedding itself into your clear coat. And so you can use Iron Kryptonite to remove it as well. So we're gonna go ahead and spray it generously on. And then we're gonna wait for the reaction to take place. So usually iron remover smells like sulfur or rotten eggs. And we found a way to make ours smell like cinnamon. And if it's not one of, it might be the best smelling iron remover on the market. And I'll stand behind that. So you guys should definitely give it a try and let us know in the reviews if you like it. So as you can see, we have all the little purple dots. We're gonna use a clay bar and try and agitate it and remove some of it. But there's quite a lot there. So we're gonna see how many passes it's gonna take. All right. There you go, look at that. And that's why we call it Iron Kryptonite.
All right, moving on to the interior of this BMW, we cannot ignore the condition that this is in, so I'm gonna try to make this quick so I'm not around this mold too much without a mask. Some of the most fun things about these older cars, and I don't think BMW does this anymore, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this gauge is one of my favorite. On the instrument cluster, they have an MPG gauge that basically every time you floor it, it goes almost down to zero. And I think that's one of the best features. I had a BMW myself, and when I owned one, I would just try to pin the gauge and get the worst fuel mileage ever. So it was not really a help to me, I'll say that. Another really cool feature which my Scirocco shares with this car is the 4 horns, which I really enjoy. And you don't see that kind of stuff on newer cars. It's always just one horn in the center. I just think it's a fun idea to be able to press the horn from any which way. As a lot of you may know, a lot of older German vehicles will have issues with sun cracking on the dashboard. So I'm interested to see, is that what we're hiding here, or was that to prevent sun cracking? Let's check it out. Oh. Okay, so what you guys are seeing here is the adhesive that's left over from that mat. Besides that, I see no cracks. I see no deviations in this dashboard. So this is actually really nice still. Look into replacing one of these dashboards. This is not cheap to do. And a lot of guys, this is the bane of their existence because replacing a dash like this sucks to do. Another great feature of this car that I love, obviously, is that this is a 5-speed manual. This is a rear-wheel drive 5-speed manual E30. That's just awesome. It's just fun. I can imagine rowing gears back in the day with this. My first plan of attack is to get these seats removed, and this is my carpet. It didn't come with the car, just to protect myself from how gross all this really is. Luckily, while I was sitting here before he turned the camera on, I got this one to move back and forth. I have to make sure that seat can move back and forth as well, so I could get to the bolts to actually pull them out and start on the carpet of this car. All right, I'm going through the interior of this car and I just had to stop, put everything I saw back and break it out on camera. And I'm sure RJ's gonna love this when I show him. He's behind the camera, Brent's editing. I found some CDs and stuff in the car. What I found that what I thought was really special was a cassette. And I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this on camera, but this is Purple Rain.
Oh, no way. It is Purple Rain.
So this is gonna stay here. It's gonna go up on our wall because, as you know, our wheel cleaner is called Purple Rain, and maybe this was meant to be. So Brent actually sits in the office and sometimes he actually is listening to Prince Purple Rain while he's editing, and he doesn't know I found this yet. I wanna go see his reaction. Brent? All right, I found a cassette in the car and I think you're gonna really like it. So check this out.
Dude.
Right?
I've been listening to this nonstop.
I told you.
Sing it for him.
I'm not singing.
Now it's time to find out what's in the trunk of this E30. Let's see. That's a lot of junk. An absolute boatload of toothpicks. They're like, these are not even called toothpicks. They're like sandwich picks, I guess. Nice candle. What the heck? Actually smells pretty good. Some new socks. Nice. New owner gets a nice filter with this bad boy. Doesn't seem like there's anything too fun or interesting in here. It's just a bunch of rubbish. I'm gonna get the rest of this cleaned up.
Now we're going to refresh these seats with our interior cleaner and make them look nice and new again. Now we're going to kill and remove all the mold, starting with this piece that we just removed out of the car to make it a lot easier for us to clean. Now we're going to use a plastic razor and a steamer to remove this old adhesive on the dashboard. That way we can do it safely and not risk damaging anything, and it works out perfectly.
All right, now it's time to polish the E30 BMW. And if I remember correctly, this is actually a single stage lacquer paint, and it's really frustrating to polish. Not necessarily that it's hard to actually make shiny again, but it's difficult to wipe away the polish with the microfiber after. So you guys might actually see me using my gloves because the rubber on the paint does a pretty good job of actually removing the polish. The hood is actually going to be one of the easier parts of polishing this BMW. The harder part is actually back here on the trunk lid. So this is some kind of staining that occurred while it sat in that garage for the last 30 years, and I really don't know what it is. Initially I thought it was grease. I really don't know what it is. Something was sitting there and it leaked something, and it looks like this now. So what I'm going to do in order to properly remove that is I'm going to actually wet sand it with 3000 grit, and then I'll follow up with a rotary polisher in order to remove the sanding marks, and then I'll use a DA to give it that nice finish and bring back that white color that we're trying to achieve and all the shine and luster that goes with it. So that's going to be the plan of action. On the front, I'll use a DA with a foam pad. On the back here, we're going to be very aggressive with some sandpaper, and we're going to remove this whole entire stain. All right, I hear him now. Ready? She has no idea this thing's in here, and she has no idea it's clean. I have a whole package of all of WD Office Supply's 16-ounce bottles. We're gonna give it to her and tell her that her boyfriend's been lying to her, and he actually bought the BMW. So let's see if they're out there. What's up? What's up, big man? What's going on? Yeah, it's been a minute. Not since Michaela had her car done. What's up, Michaela?
Hey.
Oh, long time no see. How you been? What's going on, man? I'm RJ. Nice to meet you.
Why are you putting this on my head?
Because I'm gonna give you this.
What is it?
It's all of our product line. So that's yours because your boyfriend's been lying to you for the last week. And he got you an E30 BMW.
Happy birthday.
What? Stop! Dude, no. What?
Surprise.
What? Dude, no, I can't. Are you kidding me? I can't breathe. My heart is racing right now. Oh my God.
Yeah, it came out a little bit better than we even expected. I did not expect it to look this nice all cleaned up. No tears in the seats. No damage on the dash. No cracks in the dash. It's perfect. What did he tell you that you were going to come here today for?
He told me we were picking up detail supplies.
Well, you were. You were just getting it for free for your new BMW.
What the f is going on, dude?
So I guess he didn't lie completely.
Is this real life? I mean, I knew he was going to see it, but I didn't know he bought it. Oh my God. Thank you. That's so crazy.
All right, I'm going to take it out. Hey, congratulations, man. Thank you again for the opportunity,
God,
Michaela.
thank
Congrats.
you.
I'm so glad we were able to surprise
Yes.
you. And we hope you guys were surprised with that reaction.
God.
And we thank you guys so much for
I
watching.
almost cried, dude.
If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. But we are not going to see you guys next week. It's the first time in 5 years that WD is taking a vacation. Me, Mike, and Brent are all taking a week off. So we apologize. We will not have a video on next week. But we thank you guys for watching this one. And we will be back the next week after. So we're going to enjoy our New Year's. We hope you enjoy your New Year's as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.